Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. You have now tuned in to the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Yo, positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. This is your boy RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman. And yeah, this is another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Yeah, I'm about to say KB's do what you do, man. But say what up, man.
Ain't going to take it there. You go take it there. I know the Saints at the house right now with all hands lifted up.
Yeah. Right now, they definitely had their hands in the air, and they was going there. You
Yeah,
almost took them in the realm.
Take them to the holies of holies. Oh, I know. What up with it?
Yo, man, we chilling, man. Say it up to good people out there, bro.
Man, what's up, peoples? We back with another episode of the Imperfect Fathers. Sitting with what we gonna call it? One third of the Imperfect Fathers. We'll call it RJD. Shout out to our boy T Tribble. Chilling in Atlanta. I seen him in the backyard smoking a hoagie or something like that. Whatever he smoked.
He got a whole situation going on at the crib right now. So if them guys is tuning in where they at right now, what up, man? And T, I hope you're having a good time.
Hey, Lisa.
I hope that hip is doing good. Lisa, we hope you're doing well, Queen. Everybody's doing good on that end. We really sending prayers out and all the love and all that good stuff to you. But anybody who knows us around here knows we got a protocol that we must follow. And that protocol is talking to the most perfect father and then paying the bills around here. So with that being said, Father God, we thank you for another opportunity to be here, to be right now in this space, to say thank you for this opportunity, because we know that there's someone that didn't make it this far. We know that they understand that there's someone that didn't wake up this morning. So right now we are grateful. We are grateful for life itself and the giver of the gift. So right now, God, we say thank you for your presence. Thank you for your abilities. Thank you for everything you've given us. Good, bad, or indifferent, God, we appreciate it all because we know it works together for our good. So right now, God, we ask you to give us the grace and space to be the men that we may be right now, to help encourage somebody in their space right now to be a better man, not just themselves, but for their families and the loved ones and people around them. So right now, God, these are our prayers. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yo, man.
Hey, so while you pay them bills, I'm about to go check on the shorty.
Oh, yeah, do that. Everybody must know we Imperfect Fathers, and he has to go take care of that baby that's in the other room right now acting. No, I think she's taking the shower right now. I think she's in the bath. So while he's doing that, like he said, I'm going to pay the bills. So for everyone who knows around here, we pay the bills by saying thank you to our sponsors. And those sponsors are those wonderful people over at It's Now or Never ENT. The very gentleman that just went off the screen, he is a fabulous producer. As you heard earlier, he was plays keys and he produces phenomenal tracks. So he also has a catalog of music that you can also go through and check it out. If you go over to It's Now or Never ENT, you can check out any of his music on the platform. And if you use the word Imperfect, he'll give you 50% off on any beat in the beat store. So go over there, shop smart, shop black, shop It's Now or Never ENT, and let them know we sent you. The other paid sponsor of this beautiful podcast, he's wearing the shirt, I'm wearing the shirt. I'm sitting in front of content that she produced over at Cassie's Classic Design. So all your printing needs, holla at Cassie's Classic Design on Instagram at Cassie's underscore classic underscore design. And if you want to get at her directly, it's Cassie's Classic Design at gmail.com. Now, my good people, the bills is paid around here. And this week's conversation, we're going to talk about fathers leading and fathering with open wounds. It's going to be one of those conversations tonight. So anybody checking this out on Clubhouse, checking us out anywhere else, we appreciate the love, excuse me, and the support. Let me go ahead and make sure I'm not missing any comments in the comment section. Aston, blessings, King. Blessings to you. Thank you for pulling up on us. Appreciate you. All right, so this topic right here is near and dear to my heart because it's one of those things that I tell everybody that follows me understands that I live my life very transparently. That's part of my brand. That's just what I do. So any time that I come across something or I go through something that I feel can benefit the next man, I'm going to share it, that it may help benefit a man to be a better version of himself, because that's what this is all about. We as men and women, we shouldn't be competing with each other. We should really be helping each other to compete with each other's selves. Like, my goal isn't to be better than not one other man on this earth. My goal is to be better than the man that I'm sitting here and right now currently. Tomorrow morning, I want to be better than the man that's sitting here currently at 9:29 p.m. It's a constant battle of trying to be a better individual. And while I'm going through these things and I'm learning these things, I'm also a father full time, right? I'm a husband full time. And if I'm learning these lessons, that means the people around me are having to either have to learn them with me or deal with the repercussions or repercussions. Let me not say that. That's a strong word. Or the outcomes of those lessons. So me as a dad, I've been finding some things out about myself through my children, right? Like, it's crazy when we start seeing things and we realize that our children are telling the stories to us. Oh, we have a comment came in just now. Hold on, let me see. Oh, Ashton, hold on. Yeah, the beautiful thing about my life is I don't have problems with dudes. I am grateful because I don't have to compete with no man. I am a different type of female. I am very masculine, but love a man 100%, and they love me back because I don't have drama in my life, and I don't stuck up. Absolutely, absolutely. That's the one thing a man does not want. I can tell you that right now. As a married man, we don't want no extra drama. We gotta, especially as black men, we have enough to deal with in life itself. We don't want to come home and have to deal with a bunch of extra nonsense for no reason. We all have our baggage. Don't get it twisted, right? We all know none of us is perfect, but at the end of the day, no one wants to have that nonsense come about our way. Oh, KB just came back. Well, let me bring him in. There he goes. Yo, King.
Yo,
So
more bubbles and more hot water, G.
that means she that means she not ready to come out of there yet.
Nope. Basically drag her, yo.
Yo, listen, that little girl's a fish. You hear me? She is not coming out of that water no time soon.
Major facts.
Yo, we was so far, bro. I would say here just giving the warm up of the show, the topic of conversation, which is us fathers leading with open wounds. And I was basically letting them know that I do things to be transparent. So basically this conversation this week came about because I have some things to be transparent about. And Ashton is in the comments right now, and this is the statement that came from our queen, letting us know that she's very masculine, but 100% men, they love her because she doesn't have any drama. And I can attest to the part of her not having any drama because we don't want any of that.
Man, I just seen a list the other day. It was like what men want. It had like 4 things on that thing.
Oh, look, she says, hold on. Excuse me. She says, I'm a different type of female Lamborghini masculine. I like football. I like masculine. Oh man, like masculinity. So it works for me. A man and a woman relationship. He cooks for me. We work together. The pandemic told us Hey, listen, if it works for you and your mate
Acts.
queen, like yeah, my thing is this. Ain't nobody should be striving to be anybody's goals other than their own. Like you are your own relationship goals. If you're in a relationship and you are with someone, listen, and you are happy with that person, you shouldn't be looking to the left, you shouldn't be looking to the right, you should be looking forward with the person that you're with.
If it
I
works for y'all,
totally
it's not broke.
come on, KB.
I subscribe to the um, non-gender or chore thingamajigger, however
Oh
you want
yeah.
to call it. It's if you see the trash on the floor, pick it up.
Yeah, yeah. Don't and like don't wait for me to come home to take the garbage out. Like, come on. Like if it's overflowing, like come
If
on.
it's
Like
crazy, crazy, yeah.
come on. Like and then at the end of the day, it's like I'm not telling you to go out there and lay concrete either. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
not telling you to do that. Because
Gender,
the truth of the matter is I'm not doing it.
gender
You hear me?
specific.
I'm gonna hire somebody to do that.
Yeah,
Like,
bro. I can. One of my favorite saying is, "I pay for convenience."
huh? Talk about it.
Whew,
With no
man,
problem either. With no
what?
problem.
If
I
I ain't
I would
trying to do it,
gratefully.
I'll pay for it.
Yo, check this out, man. So you know what? That's a perfect segue into the conversation, though, KB. Like that whole gender thing towards chores, right? So
Yeah,
because
gender specific chores.
I'm learning that there's so many wounds that I have from like trauma from childhood that I like. Not that I thought I was over, I just didn't know I had. Like I'm learning that I have abandonment issues, right? Like, and you would say to yourself, how are these coming about now all of a sudden? Like, and my wife said the same thing. But it really took me to sit down, bro. Like I had to sit down for the last few weeks and really do some.
Discovery is a son of a gun, bro.
Man, it's scary. It's one of the scariest things you can ever do, bro. And let me tell you something. Just to the men and women checking this out for the first time, wherever you are, I appreciate you. Listen to me and listen to me good. If you are not prepared, don't ask for it. Dear God, don't ask for it. Yo, I messed around and asked God for I'm scared to even say it again. I'm more wisdom and understanding of myself, yo. Like I'm asking God for more awareness. And man, is that scary because he's really giving it to me. And it's like, yo, I don't know if I want to know that. like I
Bishop said something today when Bishop said something to repeat after him, and he said something talking about something. Give me more. No, he exactly what you said. He said, "Ask God to show you you."
mm.
And he said, "Repeat it." I just sat back and watched everybody else say it. Like, I
Now I
don't
don't want to
know.
say that, Bishop.
Not just yet. Not quite yet. I'm a little. My head is coming out of the sand slowly but surely, but I need to stay in there for a little bit longer.
Nah, I ain't mad at you because everybody has their own pace to their journey, man. But
It's a
one
fact.
thing I've learned, so I told the story before about the John Legend concert. Did I tell you about that one, KB?
I know you went and you introduced me to that new artist. She fire, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. Shout out to man.
I have to go back in my playlist.
Yeah, yeah. We'll pull her up in a minute because her name will come to me in a second. But she's a dope artist. She opened up for John Legend. But what happened was really quick recap. I went to the concert with my wife, front row seats. We had an awesome time. But the week before the concert and up until the concert and even during the concert, I was emotionally heavy. Right, I was emotionally bogged down. I wanted to enjoy the moment. I wanted to be physically there, but I just for some reason couldn't do it. Come to find out, as we sitting in the middle of the concert, I sit down and I look over to my wife as she stands up, and I look at her, and I look at her, look at John Legend. In that moment, I realized all my insecurities that I thought that I didn't have, right? Like because here I am. Now check this out: the men's confidence, character, and development coach. Here I am, finding out that here I'm not as confident as I thought I was in this area. There's insecurities that are now showing up and rearing their ugly head in my life, and not just in my life, but my relationship. So I'm like, oh, wow, this is a punch in the gut because not only is my ego being checked, but now I'm starting to have imposter syndrome because I'm a coach. I'm helping men develop through character and confidence. How dare you be struggling in this department? Was my first thought.
Mm.
So I had to really check myself. So I fell back from Instagram. I fell back from all my social media, even the podcast. and I had to really do some introspective work. And let me tell you something, I cried. I talked to my therapist, talked to my mama, talked to my wife, talked to my coaches and my mentors. I went through it for about a good 3 to 4 weeks, almost a month. And it brought me to the understanding that like I have abandonment issues because I really, 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 really wish my father did not just would acknowledge me as his son. Because the truth of the matter is, I've known my father my whole entire life, but I've known as my mother's mechanic because my mother's my relationship with my father was under the covers, right? He had a whole family, a whole wife and children relationship. So they couldn't know about me. So my entire life growing up, I know him as my mechanic. And then when I'm turning 16, 17, I break my leg and come to find out the man I thought was my mechanic is actually my father.
Damn.
So it's slapping me, right? Because I'm like, yo, how can I have abandonment issues? Here I am. And my therapist is looking at me like, yep.
How could you not? Like,
And bro, but now this is where the conversation comes to play because we as fathers will end up bleeding on our children and our wives with these wombs if we don't take care of them. Now, you would say that bleeding, right, is a bad thing. It sounds bad, but sometimes it comes in different forms, especially when you don't know that it's from a trauma, i.e., overly trying to compensate, trying to give your children more and over exceeding even their expectations, not wanting to disappoint. Like all these things come about because of it.
yo, I seen and it's funny that you would go into it because I seen poster. It's either on the gram. I'm sure it's on the gram. Um, but it said that the hold on one second.
Mm-hmm.
But it basically said the the father or the grandfather
Mm-hmm.
busts his behind to give
Oh
son,
yes.
you know what I'm saying? And it made so much sense to me.
Mm,
And you know, he had a little bit more than the grandfather did.
right.
But
I
the
believe it said. I believe it what it said was my dad drove a tractor. No, my granddad drove a tractor. No, my granddad walked. My dad drove a Cadillac. I'm driving. No,
a
I'm driving
Benz
a Benz. Right. My son will drive a Ferrari, but then my grandson will be walking again.
walking again.
Yeah, because tough times make tough men, but easy times make weak men.
Yep. And it kind of goes on, and that whole overcompensating thing, you know,
Right.
because
Right.
we didn't have it, so we're gonna make sure that our kids have the J's and
Right.
all of this and that. Or you know, what do you we asking them what do they want to eat? Because I know I'm guilty of it.
All
What
the
do you
time.
want to eat? Like as opposed to you gonna eat whatever I cook. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't eat, you gonna go hungry, bro. What's there is there. Like
Yeah.
so, and I know I'm definitely guilty of that. So it's something that we have to walk that fine line because we don't necessarily want to deprive neither.
Right. Right, man.
You know
And
what
let me tell you something, bro. Like, so I realized I was like, dang, like being that my mother's such an extremist, right? She's either all the way in or she's all the way out. I realized that's how I am. Like there's no middle ground for me. And I'm learning like that's like, oh man, like we got I got so much learning to do with myself because it's like, yo, I didn't know this. Like I really didn't see these things. And now that I'm seeing them in my child. Other day, my daughter, she has this ugly trait, bro, of just being greedy. Like, and she gets it from me. Like, when I was like younger, I just can like if I seen it, I wanted it. Just even if I had it my own, like, all right, I'm gonna finish mine so I can go get it. And I'm watching her, and I'm like, she's one day she's eating these chips and she was eating them so fast. I'm like, why is she eating it so fast? And then instantaneously when she was done, she wants like, Daddy, can I have the other ones? I'm like, yo, that's an ugly trait. That's one of mine.
Dang. Identifying yourself through your child, through your seed.
Asking for awareness, right? Look what I get.
That
look,
wisdom. You
look what I get,
careful what
bro.
you ask, my G. But
Yo,
I think it's kind of like when you got that sore, that wound that's open. It's like when you don't know that it's wounded, you walk around and you could bump it and you never feel it. But once you know that that wound is open, and it's like you recognize every single bump. You've been bumping it all along, but because it's a now open wound and you recognize it, you feel it more. You know it's there, and it's something that you really have to unpack. So let me ask you this: what? And if of course, if you don't mind going into it,
of course
but
not.
what was the conversation like with your therapist? What kind of exercises did she tell you to to kind of help combat what you was going through?
Well, what I'm doing right now, to be honest, is one of them. Talking about it, acknowledging it, right? See, like I said before, I'm a coach, bro. So it's like a lot of these things that I coach people on, especially our men, I've heard a preacher say a long time ago, don't preach a message that you ain't never lived.
Man, here's something I want to say. Shout out to all the therapists out there.
Shout out.
Shout out, big major shout out to all the therapists out
Major
there.
shout out, man. Major
I,
shout out to you.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that they know all the answers, but sometimes it's hard for them to even apply
Oh
the
yeah,
answers to their own lives. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely,
Um,
bro.
and and it's human. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some of the easiest things, like talking about church. Like, it's easy to believe and pray for somebody else's miracle,
Yeah, it's so easy. It's so easy.
but when it's time for you to have a miracle, it feels like it's nothing but doubt there.
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to sometimes step in and step out, bro.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely. And yo, you know what's so crazy? It was like being that I found myself in this space and I had to step away for a while. Like my clients was asking, everybody was asking, like, is everything okay?
That's what I mean by that step in. You got to step into yourself and step away from all the other shit.
And for real, bro, because one thing I've learned is that like I'm not gonna be a hindrance to no one. That's not why I'm here. Like I'm not here to hurt anyone's progress. So if I'm not right, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it's a space where I know I can't benefit anyone. So if I'm not emotionally in the space and I know that that can be something that can help someone or message in it, then I'll fight my way through it and do what I need to do. But when I'm mentally, emotionally not right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When the man itself is not together, then I have to step away. And that's my maturity, honestly, because there was a time in
facts.
my life where I would have kept going, bro.
But we was taught that push
Yeah.
through. You a man,
Right.
push through.
Right.
It's even when playing ball. You and both of us play ball. Like, when we get to that limit, we're taught that's when the game begins, basically.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, but it's okay to have a seat.
Yeah.
It's okay to take some time out for yourself. Like, and this is something that I'm learning from the top of the year. Like, and you shouldn't feel any kind of way about it.
No.
You honestly be feeling guilty because people are reaching out to you and reaching out to you, like, in terms of our roles in leadership,
Right.
like even at the church and the leader of the praise and worship team and all that good stuff. Sometimes they'll go days without hearing from me. They'll send me a text, but I just need my time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I don't even. At first, I was feeling the way about it, but now I kind of like it. So if I don't,
Yo, bro, like honestly, like and I think that what happens is, well, let me say for myself, the reason why I think for myself it was hard for me to rest because I knew that sometimes I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, right? So when it's time for me to work, I wasn't working. So I would always be on this wheel, like,
makeup.
all right, trying to catch up. So of course there's no rest there. You can't rest when you're constantly behind the eight ball. So I had to start. And let me tell you something, KB. We run from ourselves and we do it so good
I'm so
to
good at
where
it. I ain't
to
gonna hold
where it's like it sounds like it's part of our schedule. So check this out. I watched myself this whole week do it. Anytime I got ready to really face myself and do some introspective thinking, I started doing things that mattered around the house. Let me start. All right, I'll do it while I do the laundry. Or I'll do it while I do the dishes right quick. Or you know what? I'll do that while I go get the kids from school. And I'm like, yo, I'm running. Like I'm doing busy work to stay busy so I won't have to deal with myself. And I realized I was like, nah, nah, nah. This is
You,
one of those things.
it's called busy but barren.
Yeah,
You doing all this busy work, but ain't nothing really going on.
nothing.
It's a hard thing to do. I'm not. I ain't gonna hold you. It's dealing with me within these last within this last year or so, um, and just to be keep it a buck with you. And this is not a conversation that I had with anybody. Within the last week, my son just turned 14,
Mm,
and
shout out.
on the 29th of October, and I woke up that day and I was so down because we're kind of estranged. You know what I'm saying? Like he's way over there, way over here. You know what I'm saying? So, and I really just don't know how to. I want to reach out, but don't know how to. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's
Right,
so, and it's just, and I know the first thing, all I need to do is make that first call. But what does it sound like? What do I say? What do
right.
I do this? So that day I called out of work. I was like, I'm just not feeling it. Stayed home, binge watched some TV, did absolutely nothing, just chilled. And the whole time is me running from that conversation,
Right.
me basically condemning myself for not necessarily, doing the reaching out and trying to mend the fences between his mom and I. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just all this going on, and I'm making all these different excuses,
Mm.
within myself and almost validating it. But it's like, and it's a hard conversation to have with yourself, bro.
Listen,
I mean,
KB,
listen, I was down.
trust. I know,
So it's a hard conversation, and especially when you're trying to have it with yourself. But like I was gonna tell you, sometimes you have to give yourself grace, not an excuse, but grace.
bro.
And like,
Like, excuse me, we gotta learn what grace is, though. In order to give us ourselves that, because it's like, so think about this. If you've never seen grace, how do you know how to give it to yourself?
hey, but hold on though, my skin is popping, G. Like I just I don't know what it is. This light, yo, put this face
Yo,
on the tizzy.
yo, is the melanin popping as you try to say?
What? Gee,
Yo, shout out to people on Clubhouse right now. They don't even know what's going on, but they shout out. He over here
killing myself.
relishing in the melanin right now. He got hit, the light
Mm-mm.
is hitting him just so right now.
Listen, marvelous are God's work.
Listen, I ain't mad at you right now, and that right there is okay. Ain't nothing
You
wrong.
understand me?
Yo, Don, what? Yo, you got Don Klein cracking up in here. Yo, listen, man, ain't no. And let me tell you something. That's one thing that I learned too. If a man can't celebrate himself, there's something wrong internally. If a man can't like really appreciate himself, and then not only that, take a compliment. See, you ever hear two
All right.
men start be like, "Yo, bro, like you look good." That, oh nah, fam, that's you look good. You look better than me though, fam. Like we just don't know how to
No, I'm
accept and
I'm not
appreciate each
even
other.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I was thinking pause the whole time. I ain't gonna hold you, G. I was thinking pause.
You see how wounded we are, KB?
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you.
Yo, you see how scarred we are? And it's
This is
so
a fact.
crazy because we can laugh about this, but in no actuality, this is serious.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about this. If we can't do, yo, I'm about to take it there. So check this out. I got a little boy, 3 years old, turning 4. Now, before at this time, we take him in the bathroom and wash him in the tub and all that and get him ready. So the other day, I'm like, I'm gonna take a shower, just bring him in the shower with me. So this is the first time I'm showering with my son. And as I'm standing naked in front of my son, I realized I was like, yo, am I uncomfortable right now? Am I uncomfortable to stand naked in front of my son? What's going on here? Right? So I'm like, yo, what is this about? Why do I feel awkward? Like, this is my baby boy. In that moment, I realized I was like, yo, if I don't get over whatever this insecurity I may have in this space about not being fathered, I'm going to miss out on opportunities to teach my son and bond with him in ways that only I can. So I had to realize, I was like, yo, this is maybe why he's struggling in ways like to understand going to the potty and stuff, because he's not seeing me do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he's not watching me go through these things that men go through. So when I realized that, I was like, oh, I'm really not imaging everything. And the only reason I'm scared to show this or intimidated or have insecurities to show this, because I've never had another man show me these things either.
Facts. Till this day, it's hard for me to get. If you're not coaching me in a game, it's hard for me to take correction from a man.
Mm,
Till this very day,
mm,
you, I don't know. I don't recognize your voice
right,
when it comes to corrections in my life.
right.
It's so hard for me to receive correction or even um, criticism.
Mm,
And even if it is a rightful, every rightful criticisms, you're trying to really build.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Um, it it rubs me a certain kind of way till this very day.
Oh,
And and I'm getting better with it because I recognize that I pointed out is something that's within myself, not them. You know what I'm saying? Now you come with the rah rah, it's a problem. I'm sorry. I don't have.
yo, KB. So I'm gonna play a clip, right? That happens whenever you feel like you need to like reach out or something. Okay, whenever you feel like you're too stressed, is what you need to do. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bop, G. It's a bop, G. Yeah, I ain't doing that.
yo, yo, listen. Whenever you feel like, you know what I mean, it's too heavy as a father, that's what you got to do.
Holy Spirit activate.
You got to tell the Holy Spirit to activate.
Yeah, I'm gonna find another way to ask him the same. But I ain't doing that, my G.
yo, yo, man, like it's like I said before, man. This is we can laugh at this now because you know what I'm saying. We understand this real, and it's how you heal through things, right? Comedy and laughter is how you help to heal the soul. So let me tell y'all, these conversations are heavier. Obviously, they're really, really heavier when we're off the air by ourselves. This is why I can come on the air now and have this conversation and make fun of it and make light of it. But let me tell y'all something. Introspective work is some of the hardest work, if not the hardest work you will ever do. And let me tell you what I've learned now over the last year, becoming a full-time coach now in this space and a leader. Oh my goodness. I don't think I was even prepared mentally to come into this space at this stage because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I'm finding out some real deep things about myself that I have to deal with. And I'm going to deal with. God's grace, God's power, God's mercy, and the fact that I'm not quitting. I'm going to be just fine.
Hold your foot to that fire.
Listen,
Listen,
word up.
that whole introspective or discovery,
Yeah.
it's a monster, B, to be able to start to having to really for real deal with yourself on a level like, and you could really sit there naked in front of you
Mm.
Forget anybody else, just naked in front of you,
Yeah.
vulnerable to yourself.
Yo, do you know what the craziest part is, KB? People listen to the radio. I looked at the research. People who sit in the car listen to radios on the way places just so they don't have to hear their own thoughts.
I'm one of them. Well, I'm absolutely one of them because
We are scared
driving
of our
in
thoughts.
listen, driving in the car with no music, with just you, if you really want to know you and you want to know what be going on in your mind, try it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you're gonna be reaching for that dial.
Facts.
It's that's something that I learned that a minute ago. If you, I forget, I think the car that I was in, radio was messed up or something like that, and I was
Mm-hmm.
having to drive to work,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a no go. And next check went straight to the to a radio, pulled up right at the swap shop. Hey yo,
I need one.
big up. Oh my God.
Yo, listen, my first time was my wife's previous old car. When I first started dating her, she had this 2000 Corolla there was no radio in it. And at the one time, my other car that I was between cars, and that was the only car we had for like 2 months. Oh my goodness. Riding places. I sung more songs. I created more songs. Like I was in there rapping and all kinds of stuff as if though I could really do it. But
Just
with
to
all that said and done, bro, like it's crazy because you don't want to deal with those things. But the truth of the matter is there's so much freedom and liberty on the other side of them. Like,
what does it look like? What's so talk us through a little bit of the journey, if you don't mind. So you after this John Legend concert and you realize that I need to really step back after the month of stepping back and kind of or when did you realize okay I need to start doing work? Was it the next day after the John Legend concert? Did it take you a week? Did it take you to 2 weeks?
nah, it was that night. That night when because remember, bro, like what I was worried about was asinine. I'm worried about Cassie leaving me. Like that's craziness. Like anybody knows our relationship. Like that's the furthest thing. Like she's treated me nothing less than a king from day one. I've never had an issue like and this is one of the hardest things I had to do, bro. It wasn't going to my therapist. It wasn't going to anyone else. It was going to her and telling her that because she looked at me like, babe, why would you feel that way? What did I do to make you feel that way? And that's what happens with our queens. They internalize like we do. What did I do to make you feel that way? And I had to keep explaining to her, no, 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 no. This
It's
has
all on
nothing to
me.
do with you. This has nothing to do with you. This right here it was before you. And that right there, bro, was the hardest part of it all. Like every conversation I had to have after that and really start digging into, that was the hardest one because I'm Superman. You understand? Like, and this is why me learning that I'm not supposed to be masculine all the time has helped me a lot. I'm supposed to be a comprehensive man. I'm not just supposed to be walking around in my masculinity all day. That's a part of me. It's not who I am.
Do me a favor. What's the name of the podcast?
Imperfect Fathers
Stop.
Podcast.
Imperfect.
Yeah.
It. We hold ourselves to this standard of
Word.
perfect, and we're setting ourselves up every single time and thinking that we have to be this on this mountain looking
Hmm.
down. Sometimes we're gonna go through the valley, bro.
Oh yeah.
And and we need to every time we feel that we need to be that perfect, we have to remind ourselves that and give ourselves that grace to allow ourselves to know one, no, I don't have to be perfect. I have to be present.
Right.
I have to be willing,
Hmm.
but perfect, no, I don't have to be. And you know what? That's perfectly fine.
Facts. Bro, like it's when you don't have an image and you close your eyes and make your own, what you got? You don't know your picture is wrong until you've seen something else. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't, and this is another thing, KB too. Like you know how our coach used to tell us about, like, especially when we're working out and lifting weights, is that you don't know your strength until you've taken your body to the furthest extent. This is the same way about these instances in our lives. Like I didn't know I had abandonment issues or insecurities in this way because we've never been in a situation where I had to watch my wife like be happy to see another man. You understand what I'm saying? Like I've never been in a situation where I was just like, oh, she likes him. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I was never in that situation to know I was insecure in that way. So I would have never, if it wasn't for that situation, I wouldn't have known it.
And you know what just popped up in my mind
What's that?
is your wedding day.
Mm.
You sitting at the piano
Yeah.
playing for her, and John Legend is at the piano.
Uh Word.
You kind of set that up for her that now, and probably she probably didn't even think about it either, and it probably not even this, but this is just me in my mind going to it. But you set that up, and that probably triggered that memory for
Mm-hmm.
her. A man sitting at the piano, and I'm here with my man, and that kind of brings me back to my wedding day. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Like, and it and you sitting there thinking, oh, she's standing up for the next nigga. Like,
Yo, bro, let me tell you, that was like, especially as a man, I'm gonna be very transparent, bro. As a man, that was one of my most insecure moments in my entire life, bro. Because it was like the only one who knew it, and this is how scary this is how scary insecurities can be. The only person who knew that, I was in a stadium with thousands of people, KB, but the only one who knew that was me.
and you felt like the entire
And I felt
stadium.
like the whole building, janitors, security guards, anybody watching, even John Legend himself, knew I was insecure in there. I felt like he was all over me. I felt like it was written on my face.
Yeah,
And like, bro, I couldn't even. And when once it hit me, I felt even heavier, right? I was like, oh my God, now embarrassment's starting to play because I'm like, oh, can they really see this now? Like, this is crazy. And this is all transpiring when I'm supposed to be having a good time and embracing the moment.
facts.
And this is why I say, like, yo, it's important for us fathers, men, husbands, for all of us to realize, like, yo, we got to take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, because if we're not being able to be present in moments, there's something wrong, right? Like, I realized there was something wrong even up until recently when my mom and my sister came to visit. Like, they came to visit, and I haven't seen them in months, almost a year, right? Since COVID and all that. So probably more than a year now that I think about it, right? I haven't seen them in over a year. And it was like, at first, it was something that wouldn't let me just be present. I just couldn't tap in, right? The emotions was there. I wanted to be present, but I just couldn't do it. But then when it was time for them to go, I just wanted to cry and not let them go, right? Like I didn't want to let them go back to their normal lives because I felt like I didn't tap in.
You ain't get enough.
And I'm like, yo, what is going on? What is the boundary? What is holding me back from being able to be present with my loved ones? And this is why, KB, I had to say, you know what now? I'm not okay.
You got back. It's I don't have that issue of not being present. I think my issue is that sometimes you need to capture the moment.
Mhm.
So I will go and I'll be also in this situation that I will forget to stop and capture the moment or savor the moment. I'm
Mm,
so into I'm so into it. Like, even how we are when we make music or whatever. We zone in. We're present. We're there.
absolutely.
And we don't even want to ever come out of that. And we forget to capture that moment.
Right.
Really sit with it. Because sometimes, and even in journalism, sometimes You know, you ask that question and they said, just let it breathe.
Right. Right.
It's just let it breathe. We forget to take a step back and let it breathe. And we have to, you know, sometimes just capture it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's, I'm doing something out and about, and I know I don't think to take a picture
Mm.
until the moment is gone. I'm in the house. I'm like, I should probably take a picture.
Right.
And it's like that with Kylie now. I'm like, I don't take pictures, and I want to be able to point her
Look back.
back to
Right.
the, you know what I'm saying, to this. And I'm like, yo, I'm acting up, but I'll be so in the moment and so present that
Right.
sometimes I need to really come out and then go back in. You
And
know what
that's so crazy because that's the opposite. Like that's the polar opposite. Because like, yo, bro, like I wanted to be present. You know what I'm saying? Like my mind just wouldn't let me. And then emotionally it wouldn't let me. Let me tell you why. So what we don't realize is like when we harbor emotions or we don't take care of emotions that were undealt with as children, when we meet those people again, no matter how many times you encounter them, they're still going to be present. So there was so many things that I had not addressed with my mom that. So
Mm.
I was like, yo, mom, we got to talk. And it wasn't nothing like, anything like major catastrophic, but it was just some things I had to get off my chest, some understanding that we had to have between us. And just some things some questions I need to answer. Because now I'm learning and understanding like, yo, as a father, as a leader, yo, if I'm not whole, that doesn't mean I can't lead. But it does mean that there's going to be some things that it's going to be, I'm gonna leave some voids in my children only because they're voids in me. And now that I have the awareness, right, which is crazy, I ask and God pray for. Be careful what you pray for because He'll give it to you. Uh, now that I'm actually seeing this and I'm being more aware of the things that I'm lacking and the things that I need in my life to make me a whole man and a more comprehensive man of the Most High, I'm looking at life a little different and I'm seeing things like, oh, I got to deal with this because if I don't, my son will deal with this. My daughter will deal with this. And not just deal with it, but deal with the repercussions of me not addressing it. And that's what I don't want. You know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, we said earlier, hard times make strong men, but easy times make weak men. I'm not trying to make things easier for them. I'm not also trying to have them deal with trauma that they shouldn't have to deal with. You
It's
know
a,
what I'm saying?
it's a fact. But the thing is, and now that I'm older, I understand this. I know that my mom didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
Right.
because of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think, and I've been saying this, but grace,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I promise you, this year, or this, since the pandemic, and since I decided to take on this journey, that's what I've been hearing. It's just basically grace. Like, you know, we comes down on we're our biggest critics,
Facts. Major fact.
and because of that, we get so down on ourselves, we condemn ourselves, and almost to the fact that it's becoming self-deprecating. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we need to allow ourselves grace and allow ourselves this grace to grow.
Yeah.
And shameless plug to my pastor, she got a book called Growing in Grace, Grace by Grace Blue. It's
Oh,
just,
grab that.
yeah, and you know what I'm saying, like, a very wise woman. But we have to grow in grace, because if we allow ourselves to grow in condemnation,
Mm.
we're just right back to where our forefathers started.
And let me tell you something. I think that our forefathers could have used so much love,
I think they
right?
still can.
Like they just need so much love. And I don't care what the situation was. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna be very honest right now. Even to my own real biological father, if he's alive or not, I don't know. To my stepfather, George, every man under the sound of my voice, they just need a little bit more love because now understanding as a man where I stand now, as a 37 years young man, two children, a wife, I understand a lot more than I did a few years ago. I feel weights that I never felt before as a black man. I feel things that I've never I couldn't imagine before I sat in this seat that I sit in currently. And for that, number one, I say sorry to every one of my elders. I apologize. I didn't know. I didn't know the weight that you guys were dealing with.
That's a fact.
And I didn't know the ignorance in which you guys were raised. Now, no disrespect to my forefathers or their fathers, but it's the truth is the truth.
You said you used the right word, ignorance. They just didn't know.
They just really didn't know. And let me tell you something. Like I had a heart, and I still have the heart to write this book. And I think that is coming up more and more the more I think about it. The title of the book is that real men don't run, but sometimes we just need to retreat. I think that most of our forefathers, if they just had a space to retreat to for a second, if they had a safe space to go, right? If there was podcasts, if there were men's groups, if there were things that took the exposure to say, listen, just to go a space, you know what? I'm tired of being a father. I'm tired of being a man right now.
You know
The
what it
boy
is?
in me is tired.
Shameless plug to Safe Space. It's a really good friend of my therapist. Her practice is called Safe Space.
Mm,
You know, if you're looking for a therapist, definitely reach out to her. It's called Safe Space. Just a shameless plug. But if our forefathers had that safe
mm,
space to go to, where they know they could go and talk, and anything that is said in that room will absolutely say in that room, and there's no judgment against them.
right.
How much further would we have been? You know what I'm saying? So I think now, and I'm sound like Troy a little bit. It's no longer taboo to go sit down and talk to someone.
Mm. No, it's not.
It's encouraged. So men
Hold on,
find
KB.
that
I'm glad
space.
you said that. But I posted something this week, and I'm gonna say it again. Kings, listen. It is not an indictment on your masculinity to say you need help. You are not declaring that you are less of a man if you require help. Like every man has picked up something in his life that was too heavy.
Facts.
Every one of us has tried to attempt to pick something that was too heavy up. And because we're men and we see another man next to us, hey, yo, bro, do me a favor. Come help me pick this up.
We do it at the gym all the time. If we
Just
there
come
by
grab me.
ourselves, let me grab me a spotter right. Hey, yo, bro, you
Hey,
spot me?
yo, yeah, right quick. Help me count this off right quick.
And you know what it is? And for real, the spotter is not there to take all of the weight.
Nope.
He's there if he see you stand in one place a little too long, he just tap that bar a little bit. You know what I'm
Just a
saying?
little bit.
That doesn't make you less of a man, and that doesn't mean that you didn't just pick up that weight. He just tapped it a little bit. Sometimes that's all it takes.
And let me tell y'all something, man. Like, as a man who's understanding more and more each and every day, the one thing that we really have to get out of our way is our own ego. Like, yo, like I say it all the time in my content, like, yo, your ego is the worst thing you can possibly have. The worst thing. Because that stops you from getting to what you really want. And the truth of the matter is, we're so covered in our own ego, we don't even know what we really want. Like most of our wants and our needs and desires as men are only predicated on the stereotypes that we're trying to keep up. Yo, I asked a young man the other day. He was like, "Yo, I want this car with these rims on." I asked him, "What you want the rims for?" Crickets. You want them because you've seen somebody else with them. They're not going to do anything for you. You just want them because you've seen somebody else. You don't even know why you want them. We don't know why we betray some of the things we betray, just based upon who we're around, what we've seen, what we've been exposed to. But one thing I want to say right now is like, yo, I know for a fact, I can guarantee this. And I work with men to make sure that they do this every single day I coach. Get rid of your ego and start strengthening your character. Start developing your character over that ego. I guarantee you, I got, and KB, one thing I don't do is guarantee too many things. But I can guarantee this: if you do the work on your character as a man, yo, KB, let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
A through Z are what?
Alphabets.
Right. And they're known as what?
Letters.
Characters. Right?
Facts.
Why do we call them characters?
You tell me.
Because number one, they're always going to be who they are. A is always going to be A. B is always going to be B. And if we as men can strive to be who we say we are, right? And continue to work towards that, whatever that may be, right? Because there's all kinds of men out here. But if we can just choose one thing, find our purpose and strive in that, could you imagine? All we have to do is get solid, y'all, as men. And then one thing how we start getting solid is understanding that we don't have to be solid all the time. Like I said before, if our forefather just had a place to say, yo, I don't want to be a father right now. I don't want to be a dad right now. The little boy in me is tired. I'm tired. Like, isn't that crazy that even those words come out of a man's mouth, sometimes we're scared to say? There's actual fear in that. And that right there is something we have to break. We have to create safe spaces among ourselves as men. And this is the responsibility of us now, KB, at the spaces that we're in at this stage of the game. Look, believe it or not, we're turning into the elders. It was a hard pill to swallow the day when I realized a young man say, "Hey, old fella." Are we talking to me? Don't get your behind whip, young fella. But what can I help you with? Right?
You know what I'm saying? You gotta call us up now.
Yeah, man. So it's a different stage, and I promise now at this stage, I'm going to do the best that I can to help, man. And as we about to wrap this up tonight, bro, I want to let every father know, like, yo, you don't have to be perfect. Like our show's name is the Imperfect Fathers. Like, really, really internalize that name, Imperfect. You don't have to be perfect. You're imperfect. You being imperfect is a space for God to be perfect. You don't have to do God's job. And if you're not okay, it's not an indictment against your masculinity, your manhood, none of it to say that you need help or you're struggling in an area.
We all do.
And let me tell you something. You operating in that masculine all the time, it's gonna do nothing for you and your loved ones around you. Every man should be striving to be, shout out to Jason Wilson in the book Battle Cry, a comprehensive man of the Most High, yo. That's what I'm striving to be. I'm not looking to be this masculine alpha fake nonsense no more. When I like, KB, what's so crazy is that, bro, like, I didn't realize how much emotional incarceration I was really in, bro. Like, because I was trying to be tough all the time and didn't even realize it. Bro, like, check this out. So the other day we was having this conversation in the Clubhouse, and shout out to everybody who's checking me on the Clubhouse right now. Jen and Cindy, bless you, queens. I was on the Clubhouse room, and they was talking, and a woman got on the stage, and she was like, "Oh, shout out to all these beautiful men." And one of the men came off of mute immediately. Was like, "Oh, I'm not beautiful." I was like, "Oh, he's emotionally incarcerated." Like, because now I'm starting to recognize it, right? Because what's wrong with a man being beautiful? What's wrong with that? Where did that happen? That because that you're a man, you can't be a beautiful man. I even had to check myself. I was like, Dad, I have a beautiful son. Like, I say it all the time.
One thing I think we use beautiful or beauty is one word that is so highly overused because beauty has nothing to do with the outside.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolute fact. And then my thing is like, yo, if we as men can learn to appreciate what we like, I think there's so many of us men that have struggles in our relationships with our children, our loved ones, our wives, and people around us because we just won't even accept or be honest about the things that we like with ourselves, more or less the people around us. Like I'm learning now, like, yo, I like flowers. Like, who'd have known it? I like flowers. What? You told me this like 4 years ago. I'd have been like, yo, don't get slapped.
Yo,
Like, what are you
keep
trying to
them
tell
flowers.
me?
Like, bring me a flower. I'm slapping you with it. Like,
Word. But here I am now walking outside, like, oh, that's a beautiful flower. Like, and it's okay. Like,
no, that's dope.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm learning more about myself because I'm looking to learn. And that's one thing I want to leave with everybody right now before we get up out of here. Be okay with who you are. And if you don't know who you are, be okay with not knowing who you are currently. But what I'm gonna say to you in this moment is don't stay there.
Facts.
To every man under the sound of my voice and every woman that checks this out, tell a man this week coming up, I have a 5-day confidence development challenge. I'm telling you, I'm going this in this week. I'm going to break down my entire program from start to end of how we can, as men, develop our confidence or even rebuild it in spaces where life has snatched it from us. This confidence challenge, yo, my goddaughter in the back is having a ball right now.
Bananas, my bananas.
There's a shout out to her in that water right now. But
Love
we have
Kevin.
yeah, no worries. Um, we have this week. I'm going to be going over the entire system, and I'm telling you, I'm going to help these men this week, equip them, and give them this system so they can really, really use it in everywhere of their life. Because I've learned that confidence is not just one area of life. There's so many areas of life that you can either be confident in or not so much. So this week I'm going to break down the system from A to Z, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to register and you're on Clubhouse, click the link. If not, you're on Instagram, hit the link in my bio. On Facebook, reach over and go to Instagram and hit the link in my bio. Um, and by the time this airs, the challenge will be pretty much over. But I will
Not
also,
if you're not watching live.
right, if you're not watching live and if you're not watching it before this week is up. So if anything, if you're watching this currently and you want access to the challenge, DM me, reach out to me, email me, and I'll get you on the list. There's only 30 spots available as we speak. There is about 8 left. Um, First come first serve basis. I'm only doing 30 because I want to serve every man that shows up to the highest level of my capacity. And at this stage of my game, where I am in my coaching journey, I'm only able to serve 30 kings at the highest level. So first come first serve basis. 8 spots left. If you want one of those spots, reach out. Let's make it happen.
Who
What are you saying,
knows the
KB?
next? I said, who knows? I said for the moment, who knows the next instructor might be part of this class right now.
Right, right. And
Um,
that's honestly, KB, that's my vision, bro. We spoke about this before. Like that's I'm looking to equip men to help me in this journey. Like this is not about me, right? This is not about RJD, the imperfect gentleman. No, this ain't about me. Like I'm
Each
looking
one, teach
to
one.
right. I'm looking to equip these men just so they can just move forward. Because at the end of the day, if I teach one, I teach 1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, there's somebody watching every last one of us. And if we keep that in mind, understand that all we have to do is be an example, life would be easy, man.
Facts.
So with that being said, yo, your KB, get the last word so we can get up out of here, bro.
Um, to my kings, Christmas is coming up and all that good stuff. So,
Right.
um, go out and find a fragrance that you really like.
Talk that talk,
You
man.
go out and find that fragrance that when you spray it on, you feel that
Ah,
that's just being sprayed on. You know what I'm saying? Like go
yeah.
out and find that one smell, and if it's a little bit pricey, it's okay.
Right.
That's why I'm sending you out now to go find it, and you save up to go and get it. Um, and if you can't afford that one right there, find one that's within your budget. Don't break the
Mhm.
bank, but find one that's within your budget, and that makes you feel that one type of way. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And this is not for anybody but you.
Right.
So that's what I'm telling you. Go do and enjoy it.
Mm. Yo, my final words for everybody out there is this, and it's actually for the men and the women, moms and dads alike. Take your journey seriously now, especially you as parents. Like, take your journey and developing yourself seriously, because it's not only your life that depends on it, your children's life depend on it. Because wherever they're able to functionally and consciously pick up that baton from is where they're gonna run from. So let's try to set our children up for great success, guys. Let's deal with our skeletons. Let's deal with them. I challenge you. I challenge you. Go in those closets. Go under those rugs. You know, the ones you were stuffing those things into, the ones you just keep sticking things on top of, those emotions, those undealt with traumas, those wounds. I challenge you. And when I say challenge right now, I'm talking to the men. I challenge you, men. We do a lot of challenging each other, right? We'll do crate challenges, we'll do weightlifting challenges, we'll do all kinds of challenges. But I challenge you to deal with those things emotionally. I challenge you to look at yourself in the mirror and deal with yourself. Deal with those past hurts. Because like I said, for you, it's not really for you. It's for your children's tomorrow. So with that being said, remember, before confidence must come courage. Stand up, fight, be ready for the battle, warrior, because it's a battle. We do it every day. It is our insecurities versus our understanding. And as long as we can keep that battle and keep waging war and winning that battle, we'll make steps closer to being the most comprehensive man of the Most High. And with that being said, Kings, we appreciate each and every one of you guys who's tapped in with us, to the queens, to everyone who's listening to us now and whenever you catch this podcast. Thank you so much. You are appreciated. You are loved, because we definitely know without you guys, we're doing it for nothing. And we appreciate you spending your time with us. We love and we're grateful to you guys. And fellas, you know our energy. Kings, to the world, you are just a dad. Don't even think about nothing else. That's all you are to the world. But to your family, you are the world. Wear that. Appreciate that. Relish that. Embrace that. Walk in it. It's your truth, King. So until the next time we see you guys, be good to yourself and the ones around you. But if you can't be good to the ones around you, that's okay. Just get those folk from around you. Yo, this is RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman. And this has been another perfect episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. You heard what she said. Y'all be blessed because we will. Peace, y'all.
Yeah.